What are you doing with that? You're supposed to be plowing.
Listen, for the amount of freaking snow that's here, you could use the shop vac.
You don't need to. What do you think you got all this gear for?
Well, I can tell you it's not for you to use, because look what I just had to do.
Well, that's exactly the point.
Poor attitude for upper management. I don't know how you can retain employees.
You got equipment, so I don't have to do manual labor.
You must have something on me, obviously, for me to stay.
I do. Equipment.
Anyway, what, there's about, well, I mean, there's a good bit down, really. There, you know, it's enough to justify, I suppose. It's not enough to justify taking the Honda snowblower out, but it's enough to justify taking the tractor out, because there's a bit there in the driveway, so we'll push that off.
Heavy, I guess, as it gets pushed.
And it is heavy. It's wet underneath.
Yeah, you can see it.
Anyway, so as you can see, what we did is we're going to take this opportunity to do a video with the tractor. That'll be the first video of this season. So what we'll do is we're all geared up, as you can see, with our GoPro gear on. And of course, you'll notice the GoPro camera is all black. That's a blackout case. It's actually a Hero 4 Silver Edition. Nice camera. And I figured I'd put the chesty on, and that way when I'm operating the 5740, we'll see what it's going to turn out like, because I've never used a GoPro in the 57 before. 5740 before. I've used like Drift Innovation, Ghost S cameras, and different types of drift cameras. So this should be a little bit of an experiment. Hopefully it'll work out good. The back part is out because it's got the touch screen, so you should hear sounds better. I'm not going to add music. I hate adding music to machinery videos. I love to hear the equipment running. Even if you hit something, I like to hear the banging. I like to hear the operator going out of his mind when he hits his legs on the dash. And I've had it all happen. Even when your head hits the ceiling, I like it. And the only time I'm muted is when the wife is bawling at me. So if you hear a lot of empty sounds, it's because the wife's bawling at me. Incidentally, that reminds me, the camera and the equipment came from the store which we discovered this week. And of course, they haven't been on the go very long, since what, 1901 or something?
That's right. I know. Where have we been?
Anyway, we went out looking for a GoPro, and all the big box stores never had any stock. They had nothing, you know. All they knew was the word GoPro. So Kathy started to Google around, and she came up with this this store called Henry's, and I said, no, they sell hamburgers. You know, she said, no, they sell they're a photography store. So never heard tell of them. And anyway, if you're in the St. John's area on Stavanger Drive, they're right next door to Best Buy.
That's right.
And I'm going to tell you, folks, anybody in Newfoundland, if you need photography equipment, this is the store. We walked in, and it was like GoPro heaven.
All kinds of equipment, every variety.
Yeah, what they didn't have, you didn't need.
No.
Right? And I mean, and the staff is just absolute. Look, can't say enough good about the staff. And this one guy in there, his name is Mark. I'll attach his business card to the to this video. Just really, he's a photographer himself, and really, really versed in photography. Like, he really knows what he's talking about. And I'm going to tell you, like, when you're going into a store, you kind of feel, you know, a little bit put out, because, you know, these guys seem to know their stuff, but they're very helpful, and they're right on the ball. They're very polite, very, very professional. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Mark and say thanks for the great service, and for setting us up with all this equipment. It's just fantastic. So like I say, anybody in the St. John's area or the Avalon Peninsula, you know, or anybody anywhere can always take the number off the card, and call them and see, you know, if they need anything. And not only GoPro equipment, guys, I'm going to tell you, like, if heaven was a photography store and you died, this is the place you would want to be.
I think so.
There's everything. Go on their website. I've even seen a Sony camera on there the other night that almost killed Kathy, because I told Kathy, this is what I want for my birthday, and I happened to pick out like a little bit of an expensive Sony camera. What was it, 13,000?
Yeah, nearly 14.
Nearly 14 plus tax,
I
right?
think your intent was
Plus
to shock
registration and
me. Your intent was to shock me to death.
pretty well, yeah.
You're probably disappointed I survived.
Forensic scientists see, forensic doctors couldn't figure that one out. See?
No, you wouldn't.
They say something caused cardiac arrest, and it happened really quick.
That's right. You erased that off your iPad.
Yeah, but rather, there's two ways you can go. You can die of shock, or you can hit the person in the head, and I got the hit in the head. So, anyway, let's head on out.
That's right. You're not going to get this done standing over there
No,
talking.
we'll head on out now. We'll have a look, and we'll show you the tractor. And the tractor is going to be a 2011. That's the tractor blowing to me now. Tractor wants to even get going.
Yes.
The tractor is a 2011 Grand L 5740 turbocharged, heavily modded. There's air ride seat in it, and I think their last count there was about 120 different modifications done to it, and it's a very nice tractor. It's got 220 hours on it, so it's still a new tractor. So let's go on out and we'll have a little look-see. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay. Let me turn off the heater a little bit here, and I'm going to see if you can actually see good here. Maybe I'll tip the camera down a little bit so you can see the dash as well. I think that should be good. That's what I like about the GoPro 4. It's got the LCD screen. And okay, so we got tilt steering. I'll see if I can show you the headliner. There's a radio up above, and all kinds of little doodads and stuff in it. So she's got auto throttle, which means that when I give it the fuel, the HST pedal, it automatically picks up, as you can see, and that's a lever that's down here on the dash. So we won't be blowing any snow today because, to be honest with you, just not enough of it down. The blade is an Arctic blade that I modified to fit the tractor. So here we go. Now I usually have, I gotta put her in four-wheel drive there, guys. Okay. Now I have a headband that I could wear on my head too for the GoPro, but I don't know about you guys, but I get motion sickness if the camera is moving too much. So as you can see, the snow is a little bit hard. It's starting to melt. I'll keep my hand off the steering wheel knob so you can get a better view. Time of the year for pushing snow because the ground is not frozen and you can take up a lot of your sod and do a fair bit of damage. So I'm just going to try to not do that today. See there in the dash it says 1 degree, so it's 1 degree Celsius. That's an ambient air temperature sensor that I put on the outside of the tractor a few years ago, and it's real handy. On the other side there's a volt gauge, and of course in the middle is a backup camera, or reverse camera. There on the side right down here, that's a inclinometer, a digital inclinometer. let you know how steep a grade your tractor is on. Certainly not a necessity in a tractor. Usually you can tell by the seat of your pants or what's in your pants if you're going too steep with your tractor. Kind of inclimeters to me are kind of a novelty item. An unnecessary thing to have in your cab. It's just that I put it in because I like gadgets. All the traffic that you see over there, they must be having a Christmas auction or something over to the local school. So that's why there's a lot of traffic there today. And by the way, this is Saturday morning, so there's no school. Okay, so we'll get in the driveway again. And there's my lovely wife doing some recording. It's just a great morning. It's not cold. Personally, I would have liked to seen about 20 or 30 centimeters of snow so I could give you a real good demo, but that'll come. One of those days we'll get buried. Yeah, what I like about the throttle, automatic throttle advance, it's easy on fuel. You don't have to have your tractor revved up all the time in order to get the power. As you can see, you take a little bit of sod, but it's not too bad. Before the winter is over, it'll be more than that. And I have a bypass switch on my backup alarm so I can turn it on and off. I'll turn it on so you can see what it's like in the cab. So if you're out plowing, it's early in the morning. You don't disturb anybody if you turn off your alarm. I'll turn it off again. You might have noticed too, when I got in the cab, I had an orange towel laid on the floor, and that's something that I've always done in my equipment years. I used to always put a towel on the floor, and it used to catch the water, and the towel would absorb the water on the floor, and that way the cab always remained clean and dry. I just take it out and I wring out the towel if need be. Depends on how many trips you're making in and out the cab. Whew, it's getting hot in here and I have a heavy coat on. I actually thought it was colder than it is. Forecasters were saying 5 to 10 centimeters of snow, and man, finally they got it right. I've seen so much snow here sometimes that I've actually kept the, when they forecast a big storm, I actually put the tractor in the main shop, and I put it in front on. That way when I back out, I turn on the snow blower and blow it all out in the woods. Because I'm telling you, I've seen snow drifts here, well, in one place one time 6 feet deep, And it took every bit of this 60 horsepower to get through it. But the beauty about not having anybody next door over here is the fact that you can blow the snow over next door and it don't bother anybody. One thing about having a little bit of snow coming for your first storm, it gets you back to being familiar with your tractor again, because it's been quite a while since I've been in this, especially snow clearing. Yeah, people might think that the tractor looks really clean. It's been used, but you know, we look after our equipment and our stuff. It's too expensive to be tearing up, and if you look after it, it looks after you. So that's how I've always felt about it. When you start running it over, it starts to compact pretty good. The blade that's on it, like I say, it's an Arctic blade, but the front skin on it is it's poly, and wet snow won't stick to it. I actually bought this blade back in 1994, and I used it on our GMC pickup, our 93 GMC pickup, for 13 years, commercially snow clearing. Then in 2008, I retired the pickup. Pickup is in mint condition, but I retired the pickup and decided to buy a tractor for the first time. And I picked up a 4240 cabbed Kubota, brand new, and I used it for, I guess, maybe 3 years, but I adapted that blade to the 4240. And then in 2011, I purchased the 5740, and I kept the blade for this machine. The 4240 had a nice few mods on it, and a friend of mine bought it, and he's even caring for it better than I did, if that's at all possible. So there it is. We've got about a 13-minute video there so far. So I'm going to put it back in its stable, and I'm going to see if I can throw together some kind of video for you. Like I say, it's the tractor hardly came out of idle, but at least you got a chance to see what the how much snow we did get, and also it's an experiment to see how good the GoPro works in this environment, hooked up the way that I have it hooked up. So I'm gonna watch it, don't back out through the back of her. So we let her idle for a minute or so. It's a turbocharged unit, so it's good to have the turbo cool down and oil up before you turn it off. It really hasn't worked hard, but at the same time, it's still a nice practice. You get used to doing it, and it's great, you know. Better for the engine and the turbo. That being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, you can ask them. Sorry couldn't have more snow, but that's a higher power decides how much snow we get. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy it, and if you got any comments, please make them. Lately we've been doing a couple of little different videos, so now we'll get back to a few tractor ones if we can keep the snow coming. We get enough snow, we'll do a video on the new Honda snowblower, so because we've had a lot of people ask about that as well. But just today it wasn't worth it. There's not enough snow down to justify even taking it out of the storage. So anyway, you guys have a good weekend. Look after yourself. Don't go driving and texting and putting on makeup and doing everything while you're driving. We see so much of that. People getting killed. Always wear your seatbelt. A young girl lost her life here a little while ago driving without her seatbelt on, and she flipped her car, and anyway, she didn't survive it. 20 odd years old. It's so sad and so needless. So take care of yourselves, be good to each other, and God bless.